Do your legs feel a little unsteady in the morning? Maybe you take those first few steps and need to reach for the wall, or pause just a moment before standing upright. It's easy to think, I must have slept funny, or, well, I'm just getting older. But what if I told you there's something gentle and easy? Something you can eat before bed that may help you wake up feeling stronger by tomorrow morning. It sounds almost too simple. No gym, no medication, no painful therapy sessions. Just a small nighttime snack that could quietly support your balance leg strength and even how well you sleep. Researchers are discovering how the timing of just one specific nutrient can send powerful repair signals to your muscles while you rest. Stay with me, and I'll share what this food is, why it matters so much as we age, and how you can begin tonight, right at your kitchen table. Section 1, The Silent Weakening. Let me take you into the story of George. George is 71, a retired teacher, kind-hearted, sharp-witted. He still plays chess on Tuesday nights with his buddy Marvin and watches old cowboy movies with his granddaughter. But lately, something's changed. Not big at first, just small things. He noticed that climbing the stairs to his bedroom took more effort. He found himself taking the elevator at the mall when he used to walk up without a second thought. Getting up from his favorite recliner required a little rock forward, a little grunt. Maybe I need to stretch more, he thought. Maybe it's just stiff joints. But then one morning he almost tripped getting out of bed. His legs just didn't respond the way they used to. That wobble, it stayed with him. And for the first time, George wondered, is this how it begins? Now, if you felt something similar, you're not alone. Across the country, millions of folks in their 60s and 70s are experiencing the same slow fade. It doesn't come with warning sirens or flashing lights. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It just creeps in, quietly. You might notice that walking to the kitchen takes more effort, or you take a seat more often than you used to, or you plan errands around avoiding stairs. This quiet change has a name: sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that often comes with age. But I want to be very clear here. Sarcopenia isn't a verdict. It's not the end of anything. It's simply a signal, a whisper from your body that it needs a little help. According to the CDC, every 11 seconds an older adult in the United States is hospitalized because of a fall. That's more than just a statistic. That's someone's grandmother or someone's neighbor. That's someone who may have stood up too quickly or didn't feel quite steady when they reached for something, but it's not just about legs or balance. You see, when your legs start to weaken, it doesn't just affect your steps, it begins to touch your confidence. That quiet worry about going out for a walk alone. That hesitation before saying yes to a picnic or a stroll. And sometimes the saddest part, it begins to limit freedom. The freedom to move, to travel, to play, to live with ease. I've spoken with many people over the years, some older than me, some younger, who say they don't mind getting gray hair or needing glasses. But when they start to feel unstable on their feet, that's when they feel age catching up to them. That's when it gets real. But here's the gentle truth. We often forget, losing strength doesn't mean we're weak. It means we need better support. Muscles are remarkable. They respond to care, to nourishment, and to the right signals. And for many of us, our muscles aren't gone. They're just waiting to be reactivated. Now, George didn't need a gym membership or a personal trainer. What he needed, and what many of us may need, was a clear understanding of what's happening inside our bodies, and a very specific kind of nourishment. And that brings us to the real surprise, because it turns out your muscles aren't fading away the way we used to believe. They're not vanishing. They're not breaking down overnight. They're not even too old. What's really happening is far more hopeful than most people realize. You see, our bodies are still capable of strength, even after 60, even after 70, even after 80. We're still full of potential. But the key to unlocking that strength, the real root of the issue, isn't just about muscle mass, it's about connection. Or more accurately, a disconnection that begins quietly deep inside our nervous system. And once we understand that disconnection, once we see how the communication between our brain and our legs begins to fade, we can also see the path to restoring it. This is where the story starts to turn. This is where science gives us hope. Because if the problem is disconnection, not destruction, then we're not dealing with something lost. We're dealing with something sleeping. And that's something we can gently, carefully wake back up. So let's explore this further. Let's talk about what's really happening in our bodies as we age and what we can do to help our muscles listen again. Section 2. The hidden cause, disconnection, not decay. Let's return to George for a moment. A few weeks after that wobbly morning, he visited his doctor. He expected the usual. You're just getting older, or maybe a prescription for physical therapy. But his doctor surprised him. She said, "George, your muscles aren't the problem. The issue is communication." At first, George blinked. Communication. She smiled gently and explained, "Your legs can still work beautifully, but the signals that tell them when and how to move those signals have started fading, and that, my friends, is the part most of us never hear about. We're told our muscles are weakening, but no one explains that the muscles are still there. They're simply not getting the right instructions. This silent issue happens at the place where your nerves and muscles meet a special point in your body called the neuromuscular junction. Now, don't let the term scare you. Think of it like this. Imagine your brain is a telephone, and your muscles are the people on the other end of the line. For decades, they've been having clear, steady conversations. Stand up, step forward, hold steady. But as we age, the line gets a little fuzzy. There's static. Sometimes the message doesn't get through. The result, muscles that feel slow to respond. Legs that feel hesitant, like they're not quite sure how to move. But here's the important part. It's not because the muscles are broken, it's because the signal is weak. That's what George's doctor meant by communication. His brain and muscles weren't talking like they used to. The good news, that line can be repaired. Now, let's get a little closer to what's going on. The neuromuscular junction is like the command center where the nerve tells the muscle. It's time to move. It uses tiny chemical messengers like acetylcholine to pass the signal from your nervous system to your muscle fibers. When everything's working well, it's smooth. You stand, you walk, you balance. No thought needed. But when this system starts to falter, your muscles don't move with the same confidence. The messages get delayed or dropped entirely. And this usually starts subtly. A foot drag, a moment of shakiness, a slight loss of balance when turning too fast. And we brush it off. I must be tired. I stood up too quickly. But in truth, it may be a sign that our communication lines need some care. Now, here's the hopeful part, the truly empowering part. Modern neuroscience tells us that many of our muscles aren't gone. They're still intact, but they've become what researchers call dormant. Sleeping, in a sense. Quiet, but still alive. And if we can support the nerves, if we can gently reignite the signals from our brain to our legs, we can wake those muscles back up. There's a wonderful metaphor I once heard from a physiologist. She said your muscle is like a light bulb. Just because it's not shining doesn't mean it's broken. Sometimes you just need to flip the switch. That's where this whole conversation turns a corner. Because once we understand that the key isn't to rebuild from scratch, but to reconnect, everything changes. Think about this, the strength we thought we'd lost. It's not gone forever. It's been waiting patiently for the right nudge. And it turns out that the most powerful way to give your muscles that nudge isn't exercise. It's not even stretching or supplements. It's much simpler than that. It starts with what you give your body at the right time. And that brings us to something surprising. a quiet little secret of the body. Because deep within your cells, especially in your muscles, there are biological clocks. They know when it's time to rest, when it's time to repair, and when it's time to rebuild. And if we give those clocks the right signals, the right nutrition at the right hour, they respond, often within a single night. So the question becomes, what does your body need to flip that switch? What kind of nourishment supports those delicate signals? What bedtime snack could help your legs feel stronger, not weaker, by sunrise? That's where we're going next. Section 3, the science of rebuilding. While you sleep now, let's take this journey a step further into something quietly remarkable that happens when we sleep. For years, we've been told that rest is good for recovery. Sleep it off, they say, and that's true, but there's so much more to it. Especially after the age of 55, sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about healing, reconnecting, and yes, even rebuilding strength. You see, between about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., our bodies enter what scientists call the deep repair window. This is when your internal construction crews go to work, fixing cells, restoring nerves, balancing hormones. It's like the night shift at a hospital, quiet, focused, efficient. But here's the thing, those repair crews need materials to do their job. They need the right kind of fuel. And if your body doesn't have what it needs during that special window, the repairs don't happen. Or they happen slowly and incomplete, like trying to build a house with no nails. That's where leucine comes in. Now, leucine is a type of essential amino acid, which simply means your body can't make it on its own. You have to get it from food. But it's not just any nutrient. Leucine is like the foreman on a job site. It's the one who walks in, claps his hands, and says, "Let's get to work." Leucine tells your body to begin something called muscle protein synthesis, which is just a fancy way of saying muscle, repair, and rebuilding. It flips a switch inside your cells, a special pathway called mTOR that signals the body. We're in healing mode now. Think of mTOR like the construction permit. Without leucine, your body doesn't get the green light to start fixing anything. But with leucine, the work begins. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. Research shows that this whole repair process works best when leucine is consumed before bedtime, about 60 to 90 minutes before you fall asleep. Why? Because that's when your body naturally enters its nightly repair rhythm. If you give it the right nutrient at just the right time, your body doesn't waste a moment. It gets straight to work. While you rest, you're not forcing anything. You're not tricking your body. You're simply supporting what it already wants to do. That's why many people, perhaps even some of our uncles and aunties watching, have tried this and woken up, feeling something different, subtle but noticeable, a little less shakiness, a little more stability when they stand up, that quiet confidence returning to their legs. Not magic, just biology supported at the right time. And this is something I love sharing, especially with folks in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, because it reminds us that we're still responsive. Our bodies may be older, but they're not done. They're not broken, they're just waiting for a signal. And leucine taken before sleep is one of the simplest, most natural signals we can give. It's almost poetic when you think about it while the world grows quiet at night. Your body comes alive, rebuilding itself with a little help. So, what does this mean for you? Practically speaking, it means that if you give your body a small serving of leucine-rich food in the evening, you can support overnight muscle repair. You can help your nervous system strengthen its signals, and you may begin to restore the confidence in your legs without stepping into a gym or lifting a single dumbbell. It all starts with what you eat and when. So let's talk about that. Let's head into the kitchen, metaphorically speaking, and I'll show you the best bedtime snacks to make this happen. Section 4, what to eat, what to avoid. Let's step now into the most practical part of this journey, into your evening routine, into your kitchen, and into the small nourishing act that may help your legs feel stronger by morning. So, what exactly should you eat before bed to help your muscles reconnect and repair? Let me start with the simplest and most powerful option: plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Now, why Greek yogurt? Because it's naturally rich in leucine, the very nutrient we just talked about. A typical serving, about 150 to 200 grams, contains around 2-5 grams of leucine, enough to flip the mTOR switch and initiate muscle protein synthesis. But that's not all. Greek yogurt also contains casein, a slow-digesting protein. This means your body absorbs it, gradually feeding your muscles gently throughout the night. Imagine it like a drip irrigation system, steady, continuous support as you sleep. It's also packed with other helpful nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, B12, and probiotics, all of which support nerve health, balance, and digestion. And let's be honest, it's easy to eat. No cooking, no fuss, just a spoon in a bowl. Now, if you'd like to make it a little more enjoyable, you can add a small handful of blueberries or a sprinkle of slivered almonds. These not only add flavor, but also bring in fiber, magnesium, and a little healthy fat, all of which support nighttime relaxation. Think of this snack not as dessert, but as restorative medicine disguised as food. Of course, not everyone enjoys dairy. So let's talk about option 2, one that works just as well. 2 boiled eggs. Eggs are an excellent, complete protein source, and together 2 eggs offer around 2 grams of leucine. They also give your body a generous dose of choline, a nutrient your nervous system uses to send movement signals from your brain to your muscles. If you'd like, pair the eggs with a slice of whole grain toast or a few slices of avocado. These help absorb important vitamins like D, E, and K and round out your bedtime snack into something satisfying and supportive. And then there's option 3, ideal for folks who don't tolerate dairy or eggs. A casein protein shake. Just 1 scoop, about 30 grams of a high-quality casein isolate powder mixed with water or unsweetened almond milk will give you around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. Like Greek yogurt, casein digests slowly and steadily, providing your body with amino acids all through the night. So, those are your 3 best allies. A bowl of Greek yogurt, 2 simple eggs, or a casein shake. None of them are fancy, none of them are expensive, and all of them are gentle enough for evening digestion. Now, let's talk about what to avoid. There are some foods that quietly work against your body's natural rhythm, especially at night when healing and rest should take center stage. For example, sugary snacks, cookies, sweetened cereal. Even fruit juices can spike your insulin and disrupt your internal clock. This keeps your body in a state of activity instead of repair. Caffeine is another one. You may already be avoiding coffee in the evening, but don't forget that black tea, dark chocolate, and even decaf can contain small amounts of caffeine that interfere with your sleep hormones. Avoid red meat and fried foods late in the evening as well. These are heavy on digestion and tend to cause restlessness or bloating at night. They also increase inflammation, which can slow down your body's ability to repair. And one final note: be gentle with alcohol. A nightcap might feel relaxing, but it can suppress your REM sleep, which is where much of your brain-body communication is restored. Yeah, now I'm not here to tell you what to cut out forever. We all deserve comfort and enjoyment in our meals. But when it comes to restoring your strength, especially at our age, timing matters. If we can shift just one snack, one small habit to support our body's nighttime healing, it could make a powerful difference. And not someday, but tomorrow morning. And if you're the kind of person who likes to take things a step further, someone who says, "I'm ready to really support my body now," then let me show you a few gentle additions that can help even more. Section 5. Bonus boosters and simple evening routine. Now, if you're already feeling inspired to try that bowl of Greek yogurt tonight, or maybe boil 2 eggs after dinner wonderful. That's the heart of this whole message. But for those of us who like to go just a little deeper, who want to give our bodies every advantage in this season of life, there are a few more gentle helpers we can turn to, not mandatory, just supportive. Think of them like quiet companions to your bedtime routine. Let's begin with magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that our muscles and nerves absolutely love. It helps our muscles relax, reduces nighttime cramps, and supports deep, uninterrupted sleep. If you've ever felt twitching in your legs at night or woken up with a tight calf, magnesium might be something to explore. You can get it naturally from foods like almonds, pumpkin seeds, bananas, and even dark leafy greens. Some folks also take a low-dose magnesium supplement before bed, always worth a conversation with your doctor first. Of course, then there's something called a B complex, especially vitamins B6 and B12. These help rebuild the protective covering around your nerves called myelin. This covering is what allows electrical signals to move smoothly from your brain down to your muscles. Without enough of these B vitamins, signals can get sluggish like a flickering light bulb. With them, communication improves. It's like cleaning up the wires and reconnecting the circuit. You'll find B vitamins in familiar foods, eggs, fish, yogurt, beans, or, again, in a gentle over-the-counter supplement, especially if your doctor's ever mentioned low B12. Next, let's talk about choline, a quiet but essential nutrient for movement. Choline is what your body uses to make acetylcholine, the chemical messenger that says, "Move now" to your muscles. It's the voice that speaks from your nerves to your body. Choline lives in egg yolks, beef liver, and some supplements. Just 1 or 2 eggs per day can give you a helpful amount. And lastly, there's vitamin D3, not just for bones, although that's important too, but for your body's whole recovery rhythm. Vitamin D helps activate the mTOR pathway, the one leucine flips on to repair muscles. Many of us, especially as we get older, don't get enough sunshine each day to maintain ideal vitamin D levels. That's where a gentle D3 supplement or vitamin D-rich foods like salmon eggs and fortified dairy can make a big difference. Now, again, these aren't rules. These are quiet suggestions. They're the gentle touch on the shoulder. Hey, you might want to give this a try. If you're on medications or have specific health concerns, always talk with your doctor before starting something new. But if you're feeling ready, if something inside you is saying, "I want to feel stronger again," then here's a simple 5-minute routine you can begin tonight. Start by choosing your bedtime snack. Let's say it's Greek yogurt. You enjoy a small serving around 9:00 p.m. Then you brush your teeth. Perhaps light a calming candle and turn down the lights. You might take a moment to stretch gently or simply breathe slowly, allowing your body to transition into rest. Then, at 10:00 p.m., you lie down. No screens, just you, the quiet and the knowledge that your body is entering its natural repair, window-nourished, supported, and fully equipped. That's it. Not a program, not a diet, not a regimen. Just a simple act of care repeated with intention. 1 snack 1 night, and a message to your body. I'm ready to restore what's been quietly waiting. Section 6, what to expect and why it works. So what happens next? You've had your small snack, you've gone to bed. Nothing fancy, no gym, no loud change, just one nourishing step. And then something quietly powerful begins to unfold. As you sleep, the leucine you consumed, whether from yogurt, eggs, or a protein shake, begins circulating in your bloodstream. It reaches your muscles, where it knocks gently on the door of a tiny switch called mTOR. And when that switch flips on, your body begins to rebuild. What age and time may have slowly dulled, your neuromuscular junctions, those little command centers where nerves and muscles meet, begin to hum with renewed energy. Signals move more smoothly. Connections begin to reawaken, and your mitochondria, the energy factories in your muscle cells, get the resources they need to start working harder, smarter. They fuel your strength from the inside out. Then morning comes. Now will you leap out of bed like a teenager? Probably not. But maybe, just maybe, as you swing your legs off the bed and plant your feet on the floor, you feel a bit more grounded. Maybe you don't reach for the wall right away. Maybe standing up feels a touch easier, less stiff, more certain. That is your signal. Your body saying softly, "Thank you, I'm responding." And if you keep going, if you give yourself this small gift, night after night, the quiet improvements may begin to build, like sunlight slowly filling a room. It's not magic. It's your biology, honored and supported. And remember, you're not gaining something new. You're reclaiming something that was always there. Your body hasn't failed you. It's been waiting, and now it's waking up. You don't have to wait until your legs give out. You don't have to wait until someone helps you up from a chair. And you certainly don't need to wait for a fall to remind you how precious your strength is. Starting tonight with one simple act, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, a couple of boiled eggs, a quiet. 5 minutes before bed, you can begin to restore balance, confidence, and connection in your body. Not by doing more, but by doing just one thing with care and consistency. If this video brought you a bit of hope, please consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you care about, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, who might need this gentle encouragement too. You deserve strength, you deserve freedom, and you deserve to wake up tomorrow feeling just a little more like yourself again. Thank you for spending this time with me.